Hello all. So in this video we'll write the code for this simple star pattern program. So let me start. Let me start with the main method. Let me take scanner input because we don't want any static input here. Let's make it dynamic. New scanner system.in. Okay, it is giving error because it is not imported. Let me import. Right, error gone. So let me take input from the user system.out.println. Enter number of rows. Let's assign it to some variable. Next int. Let me start with one for loop. Int I equal to 1, I is less than equal to rows I plus plus, right? Okay, so this for loop decide how many rows we want, right? So suppose here in this example we want total 5 number of rows, right? So I should iterate from 1 to till 5. So I is less than equal to rows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Okay, so before going further, let me explain you first. Okay, so if you see in this example, okay, so in the first row, we don't want any space, right? But in second row, we want one space here, right? And in the third row, we want two spaces, right? And in the fourth row, we want three spaces, and likewise goes on, right? So, in the first iteration, when I equal to 1, we do not want any space, right? But in the second iteration, when I equal to 2, we want one space, right? And in the third iteration, when I equal to 3, we want two space, right? Okay, so logic for space is I minus 1, right? Okay, so before printing star we have to print the spaces as well, right? Because when we are completing the first row and we are coming to the second line, second row, so we need to first print the spaces then star, right? So we already built the logic for the spaces. Oh, this is space, right? Okay, so let's look at the logic for the star. Logic for printing star. Okay, so in the first row we want the number of rows input by the user. Suppose here, suppose user input is 5, so in the first row we want 5 rows, right? In the second row we want 4 rows, right? So what is the logic behind it? Okay, so logic should be rows minus I plus 1, right? Okay, so when I equal to 1 in the first row, so rows 5 minus 1 minus 5 minus 1 plus 1, right? So it should be 5 number of rows, total 5. Okay, and in the second, when I equal to 2, I mean in the second row, this row we want 4, right? So it should be rows minus I mean rows minus I means minus 2 plus 1, so it should be 4, right? So we already all got the logic for the star, we got the logic for the space. So let me implement here. Let's see it is working or not. Okay, so let me take one for loop for the space. Int j equal to 1, j is less than equal to I minus 1, right? We already built the logic for the, yeah, I minus 1, right? And j plus plus. Okay, so we'll print system.out.print or print space between, right? So here we need two space, right? I will explain that later why we need two space, right? So let me take another for loop for star, printing our star. For int k equal to 1, k is less than equal to rows minus I plus 1 k plus plus, right? So we'll print our system dot out dot print our star, right? Okay, so let me run this. Number was suppose 6. Okay, so we need one system dot out dot println. We have to come to the next line. System dot out dot println. Okay, so let me run. Suppose 6. Yeah, we got our output. Okay, so what is happening here? Why we need two spaces here, right? Okay, why? Because one space we need for star and another space we need for our actual space, right? If you see, so this, if you see my cursor, if I do two times, it will come to this star, right? So so this is one space for our actual space and one space for our star, right? So star is taking one space already, right? So why, for that reason, so we need two spaces here, right? So one space, first space is for star and second space we need actual space in between stars, right? So this is how the star pattern program works. So let me know if you have any doubt. Thank you.